Recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a cybersecurity analyst, and I want to let everybody know I do more than tech, but right now the tech market is so most of the resumes that are sent to me are tech. And this resume, it takes them over 100 applications to get a single interview, which for cybersecurity, which is actually doing better than most of the other parts in tech, is very, very bad. Your goal should be one interview per 50 applications at a minimum. And when people follow my method, they get one interview per 7 applications. So let's see why this cybersecurity analyst has a terrible resume. So what we need for a cybersecurity analyst is degree, the industry, and maybe clearance. So industry is going to be like HIPAA or ISO or military, or the clearance is going to be like security clearance. You don't need all of those, but you should have one or two of them. Then certs, there are so many certs, but as long as it's a few of those, we're fine. Python, SIEM tools, threat detection, incident response, can communicate security risks clearly to non-technical stakeholders. You need to be able to talk to people that are not technical. That is huge. And extra credit for, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that, MITR attack and cloud. So your goal should be to have about 75% of those in qualification format, not keyword format. Keywords don't count. Qualifications do. So recruiters only have 20 seconds to find what we need. So let's see what I can find in 20 seconds and why this resume does or does not work. And go. Okay, this doesn't count. This doesn't count. Where's your education? This is so hard to read. Why does this matter? Okay. Vetted AI models for security, running debug. This is a hot dog. Computed for hot dog. Manage Active Directory. That might actually be a hamburger. Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog. Okay. So, this resume is almost entirely blank. Also, excuse me if my voice sounds tough. I got married 2 weeks ago and then caught a very bad bug, and I am still recovering, so my voice is a little off. But yeah, this resume is filled to the brim with hot dogs, and hot dogs do not get you hired. Hamburgers do. So, to explain, I want you to imagine that you are hungry and you go to a restaurant and you say, I would like one cheeseburger with pickles and onions. And the waiter says, cheeseburger and pickles and onions. You say, cheeseburger, pickles and onions. So they go back and they bring you back a hot dog with cheese, pickles and onions. And you say, excuse me, I think there's been some misunderstanding. I am looking for a cheeseburger with pickles and onions. This is a hot dog with pickles and onions. And they say, no, this is what you wanted. You asked for a cheeseburger, and a cheeseburger has meat like a hot dog. A cheeseburger has buns just like a hot dog. It has cheese just like a hot dog. It has pickles and onions just like a hot dog. So thus, when you said you wanted a cheeseburger, what you meant was you wanted this hot dog. You would look at them like they were insane, and you would walk away without paying because you were getting gaslit by the restaurant. And that is the exact problem with this, is you gave me a bunch of stuff that is tangentially related to what I was looking for. You gave me stuff that is in the same room as what I was looking for, but you did not give me what I actually wanted. You know what I don't see? SIEM. Nope, nowhere. What about certs? Remember, formatting is awful. You can't just randomly put them here. You have to put the certs in a way that actually people can read. But what about Python? Nope. Also, remember, I said I am looking for qualifications, not keywords. And a qualification is one of these things, which is what the hiring team needs, plus how you used it, plus the reason and result of you using it to the business, plus where you used it. If it's not those 4 things, it does not count. Thus, even though they had Python, this does not count. So that is why this does not count. So no, I do not see Python. Do I see threat detection? No, I don't see threat detection. What about incident response? No, I don't. Do I see that you can communicate technical details to non-technical people? No, I do not. So thus, this resume has almost 0 things that I need. So I'm going to need you to remake the format into this. This is how it should look. This is how you do it. It's on my, it's in my website. The link is below. This is what it should look like. And then for The education, you're going to have a bunch of the certs here. Just fit as many of them as you can into 3 lines. That's fine. You're not going to be able to get all of them, but they should not be floating up here in the corner. All right, that does not count. And then I need you to add the stuff that I'm actually looking for, because I don't see the industry, I don't see the clearance, I don't see Python, I don't see CM, I don't see threat detection, I don't see incident response, I don't see that you can talk to non-technical people. And the fact is, everything else that is not that does not matter. It does not matter that you led network infrastructure upgrade across 6 buildings, improving performance and segmentation for enhanced security posture. That's a hot dog. And hot dogs don't get you hired. Hamburgers do. So delete this resume and try it again. Because right now you're not, there's nothing here that I could use to even move you forward. This resume is almost entirely blank. So that's all I can do for this resume. I just want to thank you all for watching. And if you ever want your resume reviewed, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on both YouTube and Twitch at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And to all of my members who are supporting this channel, I just want to say thank you so much. I know you get access to videos a little bit early, but I did want to say thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it. And if anybody wants to join, they can join in the link below. But let's go to the next resume to help y'all get ahead of your job search. This is a resume of a full stack software engineer. What we need in a full stack software engineer is degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. You need that. If you don't have that, you're probably going to get immediately rejected. I don't care how basic and common it is that everybody has it. You need TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. RESTful APIs or REST APIs, SQL, any cloud, backend, Python, C#.NET or Java, React, React.js, Angular, Node.js, Vue.js, DevOps, CI/CD, Agile, Git, and extra credit for that other stuff. So this is the US-based keywords. This stuff should still work outside the US, but there may be 1 or 2 things that are different. Like instead of Python, you'd probably want Java, I think is something commoner in the EU. But I have gotten people jobs outside the US as well. My advice does work outside the US. It just, instead of being 100% accurate, it's 90% accurate, but should still be enough to get you a job, especially in the EU, with the exception of the Netherlands. I don't know why, but the Netherlands is the one place my advice does not seem to work. So everywhere else in the EU and the UK it works, but not the Netherlands. So what did this person say to me? They said, let's see, you know what, let me review this first and then I'll read what they wrote, because that would be more accurate. So 20 seconds is on the clock. What did we find in 20 seconds? And go. Okay. No, where's your degree? This doesn't count. Education. Okay, good. You got your degree. Build technical stack from scratch for a platform serving paying users. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Maintain 80 plus REST endpoints. That's not what I'm looking for. MongoDB. No, not looking for that. Improve load times. Git. I actually am. Versal Cloud. No. All right, time. This is filled with hot dogs and there's nothing here that I could use. So this is a bad resume. In fact, I actually missed the stuff I was looking for because you filled it with a bunch of other stuff that I did not care about. Sometimes the scale of the users can be useful, but you want to lead with your tech stack. Otherwise, what they may do is they may actually miss your, tech stack, which in this case I did because I didn't think you mentioned it. So I understand your feedback about formatting and the reasons behind it for a more conventional structure. Given my unusual path, what's unusual about this? I don't see anything that's unusual. You got a degree in computer engineering and then you worked at a company for a full stack role. There's nothing unusual about that. That's like the most bog standard thing you can have. I thought trying to hook the recruiter's attention was better. Boo, no. Do not try to hook our attention. That is not how that works. Wait, you said no degree, so you didn't get your... paused. Paused. Yeah, don't even put this on. Don't even put this on. Unless you're planning on graduating, don't do this, because otherwise they're going to think you have it, and then they're going to go to a background check, and they're going to realize you don't, and they missed it, and that may be a rejection. So no, don't do that. I do understand why you did not have the education up at the top, though. Let's see. Thanks for the summary part. I want to make it clear that while I do not own company itself, I've been responsible for the technical stack. I didn't even see that. Let's see. I started applying 2 weeks ago. I applied only for remote roles. That might see. I don't know how bad how the remote role market is in Italy. I know in the U.S. you probably would not get a remote role. You would probably have to get a on-site role. I don't know the market for remote roles in Italy. That is actually a little bit beyond my knowledge. So let's see. I applied to like 40 positions and have now got 2 interviews. Okay, so that's pretty okay. Last note, some keywords were added after reviewing recent EU JDs. Okay, so if you saw some Zustren, TanStack, and Tailwind CSS were in the EU, then good, you caught it. My big complaint here is A, the summary does not matter. B, you're kind of tricking people by putting this on, so I would not have that. C, skill sections don't count. And D, and probably most importantly, is you need to lead with your tech stack. And you need to make this a little bit more understandable. So that's my problems with this resume. Is this the worst resume ever? No, because you do have some of the stuff that I'm looking for. But again, you don't want me to have to dig through it. This stuff should be up front and center, followed by CI/CD and Git, and then maybe a little bit of AI, you know? So I will say you did write the sentences correctly, like implemented CI/CD pipelines via GitHub Actions to automate new domain builds and use Sentry to monitor foreground and background protections. Well, no, actually, that one's not correct. So why did you do that? I don't know. Again, also, you've been here for 4 years, so that's good. I just want better sentences with this. They're not... Like, it's not the worst, right? Like, I don't want to say this is the garbage resume delete, because the start of some of these sentences is good. I need the non-technical reasons, and I need more of these. Now, again, if you've identified some EU-specific ones, good catch. But I'm still missing a couple of this stuff. Like, I don't think I see any backend. Yeah, I don't see Python or Java or C#.net. I don't see... Did I see SQL? I don't see SQL. I don't see DevOps. I don't see Agile. I don't see... I think those are the main ones. And again, if you told me that Zustren and TanStack are what they have in the EU and Italy, then good, keep those. But the rest of them I still need. So again, this is not the worst resume ever, but like you need to fix the formatting and you need to make it clearer, because right now they're having to dig through stuff, and the more they dig, the less your chances. Next resume. This is a resume of a machine learning engineer. This person, actually, it's not the worst resume ever. They've got about a 1 in 60 to a 1 in 80, I think, give or take. So it does fail, but it's not a complete delete this and start again. It's a 1 in 50 is a pass. So this would be the equivalent of like a D plus resume, in that it does fail, but not by a ton. So what we want for machine learning engineers is degree. You need that. The word machine learning, please, you need to put the word machine learning. A lot of people may not know that ML means machine learning. Cloud, CI/CD, Databricks, Git, SQL, Python. You can replace Python with another language, but Python's probably the most popular. Cross-functional and can communicate technical details to non-technical people. This is critical. Your job is to tell people that don't know how to turn on their monitor what a Keynesian autobiographical swablob is, and you have to explain it. ML frameworks and libraries, there are more than those. Skibbity, Learn, Pandas, NumPy. I just need a few. And then I need to see the scale of the systems that you've built in a non-technical way. I don't want to see all the technical details. I want to see like just the number of users. And then training, tuning, and deploying models in production environments from 0 to 1. Those are what I'm looking for. So 20 seconds on the clock. I'm expecting to find like 50% of what I need, or maybe the formatting's bad. But not enough to move forward, but barely enough. So 20 seconds on the clock and go. Okay, formatting's off, degree is good, prove large-scale LLM, system serving users good, Python, this is a hot dog. Design and deployed RAG pipelines. Again, we're probably really not going to do agentic for this. Built scalable evaluation data pipelines and deployed ML workflows, but you don't say machine learning in AWS, reducing analysis time, too technical. Okay, so time. And yeah, the problem with this is they almost have what I need, but it's way too technical. The only number I actually want here is the 10 plus million users. That's actually phenomenal, and that's easily understandable to a layman. That's great. But the rest of this stuff, I don't need. Like, I'm not looking for accuracy by 22% and latency by 5%. I'm really not looking for, like, RAG and LangGraph and LangChain. I'm telling y'all, ML engineers, they're kind of moving away from them doing a ton of agentic stuff. It's really weird. Like, the agentic roles are not hiring ML people. They're hiring software architects and software system designers that have used LangGraph and LangChain, but they're probably not going to move you forward if they see somebody with ML that has done LangGraph and LangChain. So it's a bit of a weird part. So this whole sentence can probably just be deleted. The third one is okay, right? I don't think this is a terrible sentence. I need more. I don't care that you reduced manual analysis time. I need to know more about this. You almost had me with production scale, but how did you do it? Remember, you are not talking to a technical person. And even if you are talking to a technical person, they don't have the time to understand it. They have 20 seconds and another 400 resumes to view. So I want you to go back to the drawing board on some of this stuff, and I want you to make it less technical, and I want you to add some more of this stuff. But you do have the right idea on some of this, right? Build scalable evaluations and data pipelines and deployed ML. Make sure you say machine learning. They may not know that ML means machine learning. Workflows in AWS, and then why did you do that? I don't know. You didn't tell me. Remember, the business why, not the technical why. But supporting production scale systems is good. I should not have that was a mistake. I should not have marked that one in red. So I need you to go back, fix some of these sentences. You did have the right idea for some of them. And remember, if it's not this, it doesn't count. And you have like 40 to 50% of it, but I need 75% to move forward. So it's a good first attempt, but once you fix this, you should have a lot more. And remember, don't fill your resume with numbers. The only numbers you actually want in your resume are here, right? Your dates of employment, your phone number, please have that. Your education, maybe if you've done it. If you've graduated over 3 years ago, you need to put it. And the scale of the users, unless you're in sales. Everything else does not need a number. These 30%, 20%, residents, it's making your resume worse. Next resume. This is a resume for a Python backend developer. What we need is Python, SQL, any, Docker, Cloud, RESTful API, REST APIs, Git, CI/CD, AI, or full stack. This is actually where it breaks down into this stuff. So we want a solid software engineer who's either got full stack or is AI focused. Then we need to have like fast API, Flask, Django, and then rare for ETL. You don't need all the rare stuff, but if you have it, it's nice to have. So let's see what we've got. This person gets a 1:75 ratio. No. 1 in 150. So this does not work. So let's take a look at why this does not work. And I'm slowly losing my voice, so we may speed run the next couple of resumes. So 20 seconds is on the clock. And go. Okay, BTech. Okay, good. Why do you have this? Okay, this doesn't matter. Build a highly secure digital ledger with, okay, fast API in Python. This is a hot dog. Hot dog. Prevented by the hot dog. Guaranteed system was bug free with PyTest. Nothing here I want besides CI/CD and time. This doesn't work. So remember, the most important part is your tech stack, and the tech stack needs to be in the first half of the first sentence. You don't want to bury your tech stack in the very end of it. That is what a lot of engineers do, is because they assume that this part is the important part, when that is not the case, when the actual important part is this part. So I would prefer you to say used Python, fast API, and more to build a digital ledger to manage our financial records. But also there's a big problem here is I found Python, right? Even if it was buried a little bit. I found Fast API. All right, that's good. I found SQL. All right, good. And I found RESTful APIs. And that's it besides CI/CD. If you notice, I don't see the full stack. I don't see anything about agentic, which you'd want either or pedantic is not enough. They don't know that's AI. You need to be very specific. I don't see Git. I don't see cloud, which is a pretty bad thing. You really want cloud. You really, really do want cloud. I don't see Flask. I don't see Django. Like, my problem with this is it's mostly blank. Like, you filled this resume with a lot of hot dogs. Remember, if it's not a hamburger, it does not count. And this resume is like 40% hot dogs. So down here we do an actual AI. Create an AI-powered search engine that finds answers, notes of Python. No, remember, the LangChain and Python are the important part. Stop burying them at the end. It should be created an AI-powered search engine using Python, LangChain, and more, right? I need 3 per bullet point minimum to XY, XY, XY. So right now the problem with this resume is you bury all of the tech that I actually want. You don't tell me what you did in a... No, do you tell me that? No, you don't really tell me the business reasons, and you don't tell me enough. Also, your formatting is off. I don't know what you... That was the previous one. This is how it should look. This is not this. So your formatting's off. You don't have enough keywords, and the keywords that you do have, you did write correctly. You just buried them very deep, and to the point where some of them you wrote correctly, actually. Some of them you just did not tell me the business reasons. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board and redo some of this stuff to make it accurate to what I'm looking for, because right now it's mostly hot dogs, and hot dogs do not get you hired. Next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software engineer. So we already know what we need for a full stack software engineer. It's right here: TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. I don't know why their resume looks like this, but that's fine. So 20 seconds on the clock. This person apparently has an okay resume. They think it's about a 1 in 75, which again, while not a pass, is not a, it's like a D, it's like a D. D minus, right? It's very close to a pass, but it's not. But you can do an awful lot worse. So I'm expecting to find some of the stuff I want, but probably based on the corner of my eye, the formatting or the actual content is not having enough to get a closer to a 1 in 7, which is again the goal. So 20 seconds on the clock and go. All right. This doesn't matter. Education. Okay, not there. That's fine. Adopted cursor, the hot dog, built React and TypeScript components. Okay, good. TypeScript you already mentioned. Okay, too technical. Develop backend services. Java Spring is good. API is good. PHP could be used. Too technical. PostgreSQL, MySQL, rewriting, again, too technical. Okay, so again, you have the keywords, some of them, but you made it way too technical. So remember, your resume should look like this. Okay, it should be this boring and basic. If you have a boot camp and you did not graduate, then in that case, you are in fact going to remove this part. There's nothing else you can do that will affect your ratio, but there's not much you can do about that. So if you do not have a CS degree, we're going to remove that. Then we go down to here, but the rest of this doesn't matter. Like, why do I care that you're blah, 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 blah? I don't care that you thrive. I care that you've done. So this doesn't matter, right? And then the bullet points they're a little too technical. They don't have enough of these keywords. And again, you're burying the tech part, right? Like, it's not bad to say adopted AI cursor, because that is something that some startups want. The problem is you want to focus up front with, created a full stack web page using TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, cursor, and MySQL so that we could X and Y. And that's kind of my problem here, is you're burying and crunching down all of the good hamburger tech stack that I want into these things, and I can't actually find everything I need. You're also missing a lot of stuff. So like you have, let's see, we're going to remove the degree because you just don't have it. That's okay. I have TypeScript. I have React. That's fine. I don't see Angular, Node.js, or Vue.js. And you don't need all of them, but I'd like one of them. I don't see DevOps. I don't see CI/CD. I do see SQL. I don't see cloud, which is a bad thing. I don't see RESTful APIs or REST APIs. I see APIs, but not that. I don't see CI/CD, Agile, or Git, and I don't see any of that. Did I see JavaScript? Actually, don't think I see. Yeah, I don't even see JavaScript. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board and write this better, because you do have a lot of experience, and this is the type of person that shouldn't struggle that much to get a job. You should not have a 1 in 75. You should be getting closer to a 1 in 15. Again, I don't know if you'll ever get a 1 in 7 because just the no degree, but you should be getting closer to a 1 in 15, 1 in 20. But the fact is your resume is so compact and bloated with hot dogs that I can't find what I need, and that's why we're having a problem. So shrink it down, make it less technical. Remember, you don't want to overly technical it, and then you should be getting a lot more interviews. So that's all I can do for this resume. That is it for this video. Thank you all for watching, commenting, liking, subscribing. And to my members, thank you very much for supporting me. They get access to videos a little bit early. And if you want to be a member, you can join in the link below. But I just want to say thank you for supporting my channel. I really mean it. Thank you. And if anybody ever needs their resume reviewed, they can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on both Twitch and YouTube at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That is where I do this. But hopefully by the next video, my voice will be better. And thank you all for joining. I am here to help you get ahead of your job search, and I'll see you all in the next video. Later.